I think this was mine. So. Okay, let's see some pictures. I guess mostly. Yeah. And we made some fun.
Hello everybody, my name is Rainer from Germany. I joined Project Haseitl at the beginning of last year and I put new cameras on top of the mast of the blue box. So I will be showing some pictures of this camera and explain a little bit how we process the videos, what we do with them. At the beginning I want to say there are two camera systems in operation right now. The one is from us, Project Haseitl, also from a German University of Europe school, the SkyCam system. We have Marvin here who will set the system up. And there's a very nice presentation online from him if you want to know more about his system and his results. So today I will only be talking about the Project Haseitl cameras. We have two of these cameras in use. They are from the company Dahua. And we have selected them, or they have been selected even before I joined, because they can handle the very cold weather. They run at 4K resolution with 25 frames a second. They have quite good low light capabilities, so even if it is very dark, you can still see the environment. And I put them up exactly 1 year ago, last year, in the field trip weekend. And they have been recording ever since. I have the specs of the videos, I will explain later, since that very time, since September last year. And in November, we started also to keep the original video files of those cameras. So the system produces 90 gigabytes a day, 90. And so far, my storage system is keeping up, so I still have everything. So about 20 terabytes so far. And it's quite convenient because sometimes we get asked, 2 months ago, I saw a light in the YouTube stream. Was there something special? And I can just pull out the video at that exact timestamp and I can say it was a plane or a satellite or I don't know. This is going to loop forever, so I can explain a little bit about it. So you have to imagine these two cameras, they are recording video files 24/7. What we are doing, we are recording the video in 20 minutes chunks, so each video file is 20 minutes long. Nobody wants to look at all of this stuff, so we need some automated system. We don't have some AI at the moment, so what we are doing, we are stacking this video into one artificial long time exposure image. So as you can see here, if we see a meteor, for example, flying, video of 20-minute length results in two stacked images, one for brightness, one for darkness. Darkness comes later. And you might ask yourself on the right side, the meteor is not in a continuous line, it is dashed. This is because I stack only every second frame. And I do this so that I can see very fast movements in the stacked images. If something is dashed, it goes very, very fast. And if something is a continuous line, like planes, they're moving very slow, then we know it was something slow going on. And if we would see a UAP doing some zigzag or whatever, we would see this zigzag line in the stacked image, and then we get the original video file and check, okay, what caused this weird thing in the stack. And this is happening quite often. So on Discord or even on other channels, we are getting asked, hey, I saw something in the stacks at that time. Could you please upload the original image? And we will do so. We do not upload the original videos right away because it's just too much data. But when the stacks are created and running, at the moment there is a problem with the computers, which we will hope to resolve today. These are put out, the stacked images, every day for yesterday, for everybody to see, so on the public internet. So I said we are stacking for brightness, so when it's dark and something light goes by, we see that. But of course, there also have been these reports when you see something during the day. And of course, during the day, if there's an object flying around, it appears dark. And that's why we also stack for darkness. So we take the video file, take every darkest pixel of this video file and keep it. And you get, for example, these nice tracks of birds. So from the left, there's coming a bird. You can see exactly when it's turning and what it is doing. And you get these nice tracks of all kinds of animals. Birds, insects, also foxes on the ground. So one 20-minute video file results in two images. One image stacked for brightness, one image stacked for darkness. And I look at all of them, except for the last 2 weeks, because I the year I'm preparing, but I have a pretty good overview, I would say, what's going on, and also some online people, it's not just me. Just a short note, these cameras are like surveillance cameras, they also have microphones. They are not very good, but they do have microphones. And sometimes they also create this spectrographs from the audio files. And for example, these vertical lines are the calls of a bird. I do not look at all of them. In theory, you could try to detect if there has some very low noise humming sounds, but this we don't do. But the audio data is there, and sometimes I try, if there is lightning, I try to detect the thunder belonging to the lightning to see how much it traveled. But it is very hard because there's almost always wind. And on the audio, on the microphones, you hear the wind all the time. So it's very hard to detect one specific event in this audio. Okay, so now I will show you, the rest of the talk is just pictures and some videos, what the cameras picked up. First all the normal stuff, and then at the end some stuff which we cannot explain, the rest maybe. So insects are going all the time. So for example, we have butterflies, something is directly in front of the lens, it blacks out the whole thing. These images are stacked always in the course of 20 minutes, so a lot is going on in 20 minutes. So at night time, for example, in the evening, you have moths flying around, you have dragonflies, as you can see. These are insects. I mean, normal flies, just black dots are there very, very many. I didn't show them because you get them a lot in the summer. Then, of course, we also see very many birds, like huge one. And sometimes they're very close to the camera, sometimes really almost filling the whole frame. Sometimes you can even get the specific type of bird because they are so well seen in the image. Sometimes there's very much going on in the sky, as you can see. Sometimes they're also in front of the trees. And then you see them only in this stacking for brightness. So if we have a magpie, for example, which is part bright and part dark, you see the bright feathers in front of the dark trees, for example. Yeah. Bird going up in the hot air. And I don't know what happened here, but these are all birds. Within 20 minutes, I don't know what scared them away or what was happening. This is crazy. At nighttime, of course, you see lots of satellite planes, as we expect also. So, for example, this is a track of a plane going through a cloud. You see the stars are trailers because we do this artificial long-time exposure, the stacking over the course of 20 minutes. So in 20 minutes, the stars move quite a lot. And this is a plane going through a cloud. So, for example, with this image, we have been asked, okay, what is going on? Please explain it to us. But if you look at the video, you can see it very clearly. Here in the middle, the big white dot is the moon, so that's what the night vision can do. And this white line going from the top to the bottom is a condensation trail, but it gets dispersed by the wind. So the plane was going through, and then the wind blew it a little bit to the side until it disappeared, and that's what it looks like in the picture. Here's an example of Starlink satellites. So we get them a lot, and the new Starlink trains are up. We have something like this very often. Then sometimes we have like satellite twins, so two satellites either at the very same time or shortly after each other at the same location in the sky. And then this location at the lower right, is it possible to switch out this light? So at this location, it seems to be some satellite crossing hotspot or so. Maybe it's because of the orbits of the satellites. But we see lots of satellite crossing like this at that very location. That's another zoom image of Starlink, for example, again. There's some other effects we do see, is, for example, these light pillars. So if there are tiny snow or ice crystals in the air, it can look like this. So also with the naked eye, so when there is a light, it somehow illuminates the light, these small crystals right above it, and yeah, you get these kind of images. Another one. In the sky you can see some other stuff going on. The plane, the blinking plane, and probably satellites. The fainter lines are often the This I found quite interesting. There's also a light pillar, but you can see there's nothing on the ground. It starts higher up. So also a possibility. Then when there are thunderstorms, we get nice images of lightning. For example, this one coming in from the right. And this is one of the pictures I like the most. These are red stripes. It is lightning from the top of the thunderstorm cloud up into the atmosphere. So the cloud is not, the lightning is not going down, but up. And they are really red. It's a known phenomenon, so nothing VIP or mysterious. But they have been chased for a long time. There were reports that stuff like this exists. But the scientists didn't take it seriously until they observed it by their own. And now sometimes even from the international space stations, they take pictures of this from above. And this looks really great. You have this closed cloud surface, and then something is going on. And these are very, very fast events. This was only there in one single frame. So like in 40 milliseconds. We run with 25 frames a second, so very, very short. You can see it with your naked eye if you are there, but this is the only frame they're in. The next frame, they're almost completely gone, and then 2 or 3 frames later, you see nothing of them anymore. So, but the stacking, very easily found. Then we can see lots and lots of meteors. For example, this one from the stacking explanation video, that's one of the bigger ones. And for example, here I tried, do I hear a boom? When at the end of the track, often the piece of stone, sometimes it explodes. And sometimes they say you can hear it, it's very, very near. But I tried to hear it or to check the audio, but it was just wind. I could not correlate anything to that. Here's another meteor, and you see at the end of the track there's this bright flash, and that's mostly when they explode. Normally these are very tiny grains, it's nothing big. They do not reach the ground normally, so these are the size of a grain of rice, or a little bit bigger. But nothing that reaches the ground. We got lots of reflections and cars, from cars and also from other stuff. For example, when it's raining, there's raindrops on the lens in front, and then these are the normal cabins and houses in the area, but they have like tiny heads on them, or crosses or something like this. So if you have never seen it and look at the screen and suddenly you see all of this, you might already be confused what it is. Or here you can see a car going up or down the road to Ötjendalen. Also on the ground you can see the lights of a car just driving along the road. You don't see any details of these cars, so it's just the lights. If they go the other direction, they're red. We see northern lights every now and then, so this I especially like because in Germany they're only rarely visible. Just some pictures of the northern lights. Again, at the bottom a car. In the middle is a small meteorite. You can see it because it is a dashed line, not a continuous line. Even looking south, so the picture before was looking to the west into direction Haseitl. This is looking down into the valley, more or less to the direction to the south, and in there we had northern lights. This to the west again. So now I come to some recordings which are unusual, I would say. The first unusual stuff was this yellow line. I will roll the video in a second. As you can see, it is in the blacked out area. We blacked it out because there are houses from people, and we don't want to observe when the people are home or not, when the light is on or the light is off. And this is done directly in the camera. So even when I record the stream directly out of the camera, this black line is also there. So this is a video, it is in real time. On the left you can see the one camera, on the right you can see the other camera, and there is a little bit of overlap. It's very hard to see, but the roof of the house, a little peak is on both cameras. You don't need to know. It's not so important. The important thing is this strange yellow line is in the area where the cameras overlap, but it is only visible in one of the cameras. So most likely it was a reflection or something. I've never seen something like this before or after. It's fading in and it's fading out. Maybe it was a raindrop running down. leaving a wet trail, and somehow the light of this cabin reflected in this wet trail and gave us something like this. I don't know for sure. What I did, and to try to explain it, is I took a picture without this blacked out bar, only visible for me, and there's a bright light exactly at the place where this line is going through. And also I tried to measure, is it a straight line or is it curved? And it is a little bit curved, so I don't know what this tells us, but it seems to be a little bit curved, and it's directly at the position where this bright light is. So most probably it was some kind of reflection from this light. Another thing which probably we could explain was this. If you look at the stack, first you can think, okay, it's nothing special. It's just two satellite flares coming across. So these satellite flares, they're very well known and we get them a lot. So the satellite, the solar panels reflect the sunlight, and then the satellite is turning or going around Earth, it reflects the sunlight just for a tiny amount of time. So you have a light in the sky growing brighter and then growing darker again. So fading in and fading out. And like I said, we often have twins, so this was nothing special to me. But a guy from Poland, which is right now driving from Poland to Haseitl, he will arrive tomorrow. This very 25-hour journey. He asked me, can you please upload the original file for this? And I said, yes, of course, no problem. And what he found is this. This is original video and original speed. And after a few seconds, you will see what was going on. You see two bright dots already there. And now you can see above, even a third one is appearing. And this was new for me. I've never seen 3 satellites at the same spot in the sky for the same time. And then a member of Discord, our Discord community, is very good in identifying satellites. And he most probably found 3 Chinese satellites who most probably have been there at that location doing these reflections. But I was quite happy or astonished when I first saw this, because this I have never seen before. What also is sometimes strange, but most probably some natural phenomenon or artifact, are white lines, which you often see when it is raining. For example, here in the lower left, you can see it. On the top right, it's enlarged. So, as you can see, there are white lines. They are only there in one single frame. I don't know what it is. Some artifacts in compression, often it is when there is rain and the sun is coming directly from the other side. Some strange reflections, I have no idea. They are very, like I said, just there in one frame, so they are not traveling somewhere or so. I guess it is some artifact. And that's the most mysterious thing we captured. I call it the three-frame object, because it is only there in 3 single frames. So the whole thing only lasts for 140 milliseconds. This is the original video. I will let it run a couple of times. And you can see if your eye is fast enough to detect it. So it's in an endless loop. And around the 37-second mark on the lower left, lower right, you can see something going through.
Straight about the roller.
So one more time maybe. In the middle of the image roughly.
Yeah, straight about the roller. About the roller.
So these are the images from the video, not the stacked image, but the real image like the camera recorded it, frame by frame. It started well above the horizon, you see it here. Then it was there. And then in front of the trees here. And if you put all of them together, a little bit enlarged, so I just enlarged it, no other AI or whatever or enhancement, it's just right out of the video as we recorded it, you see this. So, like I said, the cam is running with 25 frames per second. So these are only visible in 3 frames, so 120 milliseconds from the first to the last. We don't know what it is. So I asked Erling, he said it might be a phenomenon. Like I said, I don't know. I've never seen something like this. I got some new ideas at this field trip, what we could measure with the position of the sun maybe and stuff like that. Yeah, but I've seen literally thousands of reflections of raindrops, of birds, of insects, but never something like this with like a substructure. So this is the most mysterious event we caught so far, if you want to call it like that. That's it. Thank you very much for your attention. Any questions? I'm happy to take. Or you can just see me later or tomorrow. Yes, please.
Can you return to the last photo?
Of course.
When I saw these images last night, I thought it first was round, but when I see it now, I'm feeling like we are seeing it in 3D, especially in the middle. If you think it's like a Pringles or a Tic-Tac, maybe.
Maybe.
Just a thought.
Like a cylinder in the middle.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
something.
I see the same.
Yeah. I
The
don't
video and the images are also on our Google Drive,
Yeah.
publicly for everyone.
Hmm.
If you want them, I can also send you the link or send them.
Yeah.
So it's really the original files, no, not altered as directly out of the camera. Okay.
Thank you. Let's take 10 minutes
Okay.
until Scott. Oh.
Yeah.